River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Niner Nuts. I'm Dan here along with Mr. Jimmy B and Eric. The gang's all here. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
I'm doing good.
Can't complain.
Hell
I
yeah.
could, no one would give a crap.
Could, but what is to be gained?
Who would have the open ears to listen?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, gentlemen, it is, of course, Victory Monday, but I pose the question to you all, to everybody, not just us. How victorious are we actually feeling on this Monday? And yes, longtime listeners, last year we dedicated time to talking about every game, but I kind of threw a veto card in on that one this week because, yeah, we got the victory this week for us in this very, I will call it a sloppy, fluky, lucky, like a win's a win, sure. But when you look at the way we won and the injuries that piled up before, and as of 30 minutes before we started taping, literally right now, the post-game injury report from Kyle Shanahan, was it really worth it? That's the question I'm posing to you all. And I'm going to accompany that with the box score now that my computer can actually handle having the box score up at the same time. So just to get the nerdy numbers out of the way, 17-13, we did beat Seattle. So objectively, this is exactly what we needed to have happen. We can hold this tiebreaker against Seattle for the rest of the season, literally the rest of the season, since we don't play them again until week 18. We squeaked it out. Brock Purdy, his passer rating was 92. He did throw 2 picks to 2 touchdowns, and I couldn't believe that he was up to 277 passing yards, given that, like, just, I don't know, it didn't seem like he was throwing to anybody that wasn't named Christian or 4 passes to Pearsall. But running-wise, we did pretty good. Christian and Brian, they looked like a good 1-2 punch to me. But yeah, with Purdy scrambling too, got over 100, almost 120 yards rushing, but no rushing touchdowns. Pearsall and McCaffrey, they carried the brunt of the passing game, except obviously Jake Tungus, I think is how you say that. He got the game-winning touchdown, and Kittle, before he pulled his hammy, spoiler alert, he caught the other touchdown. And then defensively, I'm not going through all the stat sheets except Nick Bosa, his 1 sack came in when it mattered the most. Thank God he ended the game, and if he was only going to get 1 sack, that was the perfect time too. As for Sam Darnold, we held him to 150 passing yards, no touchdowns or picks, but he had a critical game-costing fumble for his 1 turnover. The entire Seattle rushing attack, we held under 100 yards despite the Charbonnet touchdown that was a 1-yard push-in after a fluky pass interference. And then their passing game was virtually non-existent outside of JSN, as noted by his stat line. But he also had a fumble, a very critical fumble, recovered by one of our rookies. Way to go, Stout. Or not Stout. Was it a Seagull?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, Seagull.
Then anyway, that's all the nerdy number stuff, and I'll still leave it up there. But I guess to kind of guide this to not be so far over the place, there is a lot of negative to unpack out of this and a lot of worry to unpack out of this, but I want to go ahead and get your guys' opinion on one thing that I thought was really good in the game. I thought our defense honestly did pretty damn good, all things considered. Like, we can go down the line and see how Seattle does the rest of the way and then determine there, like, oh, we just played a good we just had a good defensive outing because Seattle actually sucked. Like, there's certainly an argument that could be made for that. It didn't look like Seattle's offense was clicking in any way, shape, or form. But I'm going to be the optimist on this side and say that our front seven, honestly, we only hit Darnold once, but I thought we were generating pressure decently on the defensive line. I thought our secondary looked very good despite being very, very young. I don't know. There's a couple welcome to the NFL moments for Seigel and Upton Stout, but there are a couple times where they really made the plays that mattered. I remember Stout had a really nice pass breakup, and Seigel got the fumble recovery. I like. It's going to be overshadowed by the injuries and how sloppy it was on offense, but I want to give the roses to our defense. I thought, honestly, with the first game back for Robert Saleh, we did pretty darn good.
Honestly, the game was indicative of the first week in the NFL. Now that teams aren't putting their players out in preseason to do anything, we have seen, a crazy first week where like pretty much every win is somehow an ugly win all around the league. I mean, you even look at Cincinnati and Cleveland. Cleveland like basically shut down the Bengals in the second half and still lost. Like, so this was no different than pretty much every other game in the NFL this week. I mean, even starting with the Eagles, game that proved to be like, yeah, we're kind of, practicing to get to, our full capabilities. And basically, this first game, it seemed like every game around the league was just basically sloppy, and whoever had a little bit more grit than the other team was, basically the one that won.
Yeah, I mean, I like your optimism, Dan, but I mean, at the same time, I agree with a lot of what Jimmy's saying there. I mean, it's week one, and you just don't know yet. I mean, I'm not ready to say that the 49ers defense is good. I mean, they certainly performed well, minus the 124 to JSN. I'm a little concerned about the fact that we let one guy get 124 yards against us. But I mean, there was one point in time where, Darnold had like 83 yards passing, I think, at like the half or something like that. And I mean, like, that was pretty impressive to see. And I mean, they clearly shut down the running game when, the run game has been something that we haven't been able to stop for the last 2 years. So that was good to see. And there were a lot of questions on whether or not the 49ers would be able to shut down the running game with the new rookies and stuff that they were going to be playing along that defensive line. So I'm encouraged by what I see, but could we be sitting here 6 weeks from now and just realize that Seattle is poo? I mean, highly possible.
That's what I'm willing to concede, is that Seattle come 4 weeks from now might just still be a terrible offense and probably even worse than last year. Because, I mean, when you throw 50 times a game, you're probably going to hit a couple, like 2 or 3 nice big bombs, but they just look completely out of sorts altogether. They couldn't run or pass this time, seemingly.
Yeah. And I don't know, and it's just too early to know if that was a factor of our defense, making Darnold see things, see ghosts, we'll say, like he said back in the day against the Patriots. I don't know if he was just seeing things that he didn't know what to see and was confused out there, or if their offense is just really, not well baked and not running well or whatever yet. I'm unsure. Like I said, I'm a little concerned about the 124 to JSN. That concerns me when we play some other top flight receivers or teams that have maybe 2 top flight receivers, how we're going to shut them down. But I mean, we'll see as the season goes on, but I am encouraged by the defense and the defensive performance. I would have liked to have seen Darnold get dirty a little bit more. I would have liked to have seen him knocked down a few more times. I mean, thank God. I don't know what that noise was. Thank God Bosa knocked him down, or he didn't really even knock him down, at least bumped into him on that last play of the game there.
He threw the right tackle literally into him.
Yeah.
I thought Darnold just held the ball way too far down on his hip and like incidentally bounced it off the guy's butt. But no, the guy was thrown into Bosa. Like, it was only incidental because Bosa made it happen. And then somehow that's still credited as a sack.
Yeah, I don't at all understand how that's a sack, but I mean, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have seen more pressure on Darnold, because I don't think that the Seattle offensive line is that good, which I'm basing that off the fact that they didn't get very many rushing yards. But we'll see. We'll see more as the season goes along. I didn't hear our rookie's name called very much, Michael Williams. I don't remember hearing his name called. That's a little disappointing. I'd like to hear his name called a little bit more on the broadcast. It means he's getting involved and making plays. Didn't really hear that. I'd have to look through the numbers to see, what he actually did and what he accomplished.
I have that.
He's got one tackle.
That was all it was.
Yeah,
just one credit tackle.
So, I mean, he's
got. Do you know how many snaps he played?
I don't. So, but,
not that detailed on here.
You figure he would have played more snaps than just a handful.
He was an outright starter, so he probably played most of the game.
Yeah. So, I mean, good and bad on the defensive side of the ball. So, I mean, I'm willing to concede that it was promising, at least. Certainly much better than what we've seen in previous years.
Yeah, it was. It's still not even going to be that fair unless we absolutely smoke the Saints next week. Like, if we completely shut them down, it's like how you have to look at college. Like, when I just use IU. I mean, Ohio State could easily be this example too. When you're going up against like Utah Central University versus Ohio State, and you're not beating them down 75-0, that's cause for concern. Like, if we're not steamrolling the Saints defensively, like offensively, we'll address why we probably will struggle to even score 17 points next time. But if we're not smothering them to literally like 3 points next week, from what I gathered how they play against the Cardinals, then it'll be a little bit of a cause of concern, I think. But yeah, I'll agree with you. It was definitely promising. I want to cling on to this one bit of optimism.
Yeah, no, I think that's fine. I agree with you. I mean, next week should be a good test for the defense as well. I mean, in terms of another team that they should really be able to shut down and, take their offense completely out of the game.
Yeah.
If they're this good.
I mean, I'm not looking for a beatdown. Like, generally in the NFL, you don't get anything extra for style points. Like, a win is a win is a win-win. And especially in these early weeks with teams figuring out who they are, and things like that. And like, the Saints, the past couple of years, the first two games of the season, they've been a really tough out for the most part, especially in like the first 2 weeks of the season. So at times they look like they're going to be the team to beat this year. And then of course reality sets in and they're still the Saints. But, this is early in the year where they tend to, kind of give teams problems, come out with a scrappy win or something like that. And like I said, these guys, this is the most action that they've seen, all of through training camp and stuff. They're just, so it's hard to sit here, for me at least, to sit here and say like the 49ers absolutely have to go out there and beat the tar out of the Saints when it's the second week of the season. I mean, if we just look at the Eagles last year, the Eagles in the first 4 weeks of the season went 2-2. They had a bye week. They come back in week 6 to play the Browns, and they barely beat the Browns. So these early season games, these gritty wins, It's pretty much like do whatever you can to win as you start to learn about yourselves and start to figure out and come together. So I'm not expecting the 49ers to go out and obliterate the Saints next week. They could. It'd be great if they did, but at this point in the season, it's hard to expect anybody to truly outplay anybody. Now, it does happen. We saw what happened with the Colts and, the Dolphins. I mean, Daniel Jones looked like Peyton Manning for, all of a sudden. And so, you just don't know. And that's the thing. Do we really believe in the Colts and being this, dominant team? I don't think anybody really believes that of the Colts, after week 1, that they're just going to go out there and they're we're going to win, 13, 14 games just because they outplayed the Dolphins,
That's what I was telling people at work today was slow your roll. Yes, that was a great win. I think that said so much more about the Dolphins being ass this year. The Colts are going to be playing Denver next week. That will be the real litmus test because Denver's pretty legit.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking at the numbers. Spencer Rattler, the rattlesnake, he threw for 46 times in this game against Arizona. I hope that he throws for 46 times against us.
Oh God! Oh my God! You don't throw that many times.
I'm not really sure what the coaching staff there had in mind when they thought it was a good idea to have him throw for 46 times, but they did.
How many times did Kamara run it? 12?
11, yeah.
Oh, almost nailed it. What's going on with Kellen, dude?
Well, Kellen, when he was in Dallas, had Dak, and it was primarily, he wanted to pass the ball. When they had Ezekiel, they were pretty balanced, but once Zeke got out of there, pretty much every offensive coordinator in the league wants to pass the ball. That's just the way things are, and they will do that. But having that much of a difference just isn't good, and it needs to be at most a 60-40 mix run pass, I think, to truly be successful in the NFL and have a balanced offense.
Absolutely. I want to say, since it feels like a good segue to talk about the offense, but real quick before, I have to give one shout out to Fred Warner, who on the Athletics write-up of the game got the injury tag kicked in face.
I did see that.
I had to give a shout out to that because that's just badass. You got kicked in the face, and then all he did was just get something in his nose because it was bleeding for a couple plays. But I was crying laughing when I saw Warner kicked in face.
Yeah,
that's just awesome. I'm glad he's okay and not in concussion protocol too.
Yeah, that sort of reminds me of, I forget who it was. It was a Detroit Lions player way back in the 50s or 60s. In a preseason game, took a cleat to the face. Preseason, 6 stitches to the face, and goes back out and plays.
Oh my gosh!
These games don't count, and he's out. He has 6 stitches in his face.
Oh my God!
In a preseason game, and he went back out and played and finished the game.
Antonio Brown kicked the Browns punter in the face doing a return. I remember a few years ago.
Yeah,
he was trying to hurdle him, and then he just didn't get the height, and he just boom right in the face. God, that's just so funny. Anyway, roses for the defense. Let's offense. I got quite a few more notes for the offense, as you can no doubt see from this still just sitting here. There's a little bit of a workload imbalance between Christian McCaffrey, Ricky, and everybody else. I was surprised Brian didn't carry the ball more often. Sure, the Seattle did catch on in the second half that they were loading the box and making him throw because look at who the hell he was throwing to. Look at who wasn't targeted. MVS, Ryan Gage. Neither of them were targeted in here. Our fullback got more targets than MVS, the greatest deep threat to always drop the targets. And then 3 tight ends got involved, including Kittle before he was gone. Shout out to Tonjes for, I'm going to make this the thumbnail, the final game-winning touchdown. I swear to God, he picked off Tariq Woolen, because that was going to be a Tariq Woolen pick if he just went a little more forward or just put a little bit more effort into it. Purdy definitely was just praying that Luke caught it. And look at the angles of the pictures and just the replay. He picked off Woolen. It was not he catching the ball. He picked off Woolen. And thank God he did, because we wouldn't have won without that. But
yeah.
But just on offense, man, I'm just got PTSD thinking that, like, cool, we're going to ride Christian McCaffrey with 30 touches a game until literally his legs fall off, which is more realistic. The years have gone by, especially after last year. We only had him for like 5 games. So just, I don't know. Kittle's now going to be out per that interview that Kyle just did about an hour ago. Kittle's going to be out for multiple weeks for his hamstring. Juwan is questionable currently. He's going to get a CT scan because the MRI was clean. And now Purdy's got a bum left shoulder and toe injury, and apparently the toe injury is worse than the shoulder. So now he's questionable, if not doubtful, and we might get the Mac Jones show.
Mac Jones.
What the hell are we going to do? What are we going to do on offense? What do we have on offense left? Like, that's why I posed the question, like, was it really worth it when all these injuries happened?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was sloppy. It was bad. Thank God Ricky caught the 4 passes that he did. Like, without him, without Jake coming in clutch, like next man up.
Yeah. If you have Mac in there, you're really going to need CMC to step up. Like, that's just plain and simple. Like, Mac, what was it? His rookie year, he won a game in which he only threw 2 passes or something like that, like something ridiculous. Like, going back to the early 70s when teams passed it like 6 times a game. So he's gonna just need help from the running game, and just hopefully just take care of the ball and not turn it over.
Yeah, bright spots on the offense. Ricky was great. 4 receptions, 108 yards. That's the kind of performance that we were kind of hoping to see out of him. He did everything that you would expect a guy who was essentially playing as the number 1 receiver to do. He didn't score a touchdown, but he didn't really have any opportunities.
His 45-yard field flipper burning Tariq Woolen. I'm going to drop his name a few more times because Tariq Woolen low-key sucks. But no, that was a beautiful play that when we flipped the field with him, just completely torched him on a double move. And Ricky, 4 catches on 7 targets. But no, again, he made the most of them. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. And then obviously just riding the CMC show the whole time. I thought that the rotation that they had with him and Brian Robinson was pretty good, to be honest. Usually McCaffrey just doesn't ever come off the field, but there were multiple times where, McCaffrey would run it twice and then he would go head to the sidelines and Robinson would come on. Robinson got 9 carries. That's a pretty significant workload for anybody that's the backup to CMC, to be honest. Usually you don't get that many carries. So
fair. That's fair. What was it, in the third quarter? I texted you that it looked like for one drive in the third quarter, they were splitting it pretty good as like a 1-2 punch.
Yeah. Yeah. So, he did fine. 3.7 yards is not terrible. It's not bad. It was better than CMC's average technically. So, he did fine. And he's a capable back, but Jimmy B's right. We're going to have to rely completely on Christian McCaffrey to do everything. And I just don't know that that's a winning formula because, as we saw in the second half of the Seattle game, teams are just going to put 10 in the box and say, good luck, try and run it. And you're not going to be able to run the ball against 10 in the box. And then you're going to force Mac Jones perhaps to try to have to pass. And outside of having Ricky to throw to, I don't know who he's going to have to pass to in this particular game because Juwan's going to be out. Kittle's going to be out. We did just sign Kendrick Bourne, so he'll be back. But I mean, he's only going to know a handful of plays. So, I mean, I just don't know. Maybe a guy like Gage gets involved a bit more because Mac has probably been throwing to him more in practices since they've both been on like second squad or whatever. I just don't know.
Hodges might be a fun fantasy sleeper. He might be.
Maybe. I mean, they're probably going to have to call up a third tight end from the practice squad too. I mean, they're going to have a third tight end. You can't really play with just two. So, I mean, it's just a disaster right now. But, I mean, this was the problem with the 49ers going into this season the entire time is that they had kind of, I'll say elite players at all the kind of core positions, but it's very thin. There's not a lot of depth to all that. And we knew that if they suffered injuries at any of these positions, there was a big drop off below that. And the receiving room has been that way all season long. And then, Kittle going out has just amplified that because he was supposed to help fill that gap. And now he's not going to be there. So I don't know what they do. I don't know where they generate offense, but we talked about it on one of the not pregame shows, but one of the previous shows that we did was that, hopefully, we're playing the Saints next week and then we play somebody else that's not real good. And then
don't we play the Rams in week 3 or is that week 4?
5.
Oh, who's week 3 and 4?
I'll tell you in a second.
Because we'll get to we'll get Robinson back, thank God, week 4. So that's going to help.
Week 3 is...
Actually, I bet I could flip it there.
Arizona.
Here we go. Visual aids. Arizona. Okay, so...
Jacksonville. So, I mean, the schedule's not tough until we get to week 5 with the Rams. And the Rams didn't even really look good on Sunday. They were pretty pedestrian as well. So, I mean, it's been my thought and my hope all along that we can just sort of limp our way along until we get to like week 6 when Ayuk's supposed to come back and we gain a little bit more depth. And maybe guys start to heal up and maybe guys start to come back. And like you said, we get Robinson back. And now Kittle will hopefully be back from his injury and so on and so forth. And things just kind of keep moving along and we can pick up a few wins here with our slim roster, but still be okay.
Yeah, the schedulers really bailed us out. I thought the Rams were in week 3, but no, it's Saints who were terrible yesterday. The Cardinals who sure got the win, but the Cardinals are still very much a work in progress. Jacksonville. I mean, we just have to see how the Rams are in a month, but I always, me, I'm always scared of the Rams unless they're absolutely free falling by then. Then my boy Baker again. Then Michael Penix honestly put up that game was exciting. I did watch that game pretty close at 1:00 split with the Colts.
Yeah,
that was a pretty big hell of a nail biter. I'll give him that. But I won't look too far beyond that, like 8 weeks.
Yeah, but I mean, the schedule gets harder once we get to the Rams. But I mean, prior to that, it's okay. It's manageable. I mean, like if we play good, like we talked about before on one of the previous shows, if we play good defense and the defense does what it's supposed to do, which is really limit and control the other team, like Seattle, we controlled them to just 13 points. If we can put up 20, we could probably win most of those games. Now, Jacksonville looked like they might be pretty good, but they played the Panthers, and Panthers are probably bad. So, I mean, who knows?
Just like the Colts and Dolphins, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no team is that good, but also no team is that bad.
Yeah. So, well, the Dolphins might be pretty bad.
Yeah, unless you're Miami.
I mean, yeah.
Of course, they weren't north of Florida, so they're going to be bad. So
yeah, Miami Mike. Yeah.
It's not even the Mason-Dixon line. It's just going north of the Georgia border.
Yeah, apparently so. I mean, it's terrible. They just cannot. They have something happens to them. They just go so far north, and all of a sudden they just lose any ability to play football, and they just suck.
Well, that's because
fascinating to watch.
That's because their opponents aren't sitting in direct sunlight on the sideline while they're sitting in the shade.
We opened our roof. We have to have James, you'll remember. We have to have truly perfect conditions. There can't be like inclement weather within like 40 miles of the stadium. It's got to be colder than 80, but warmer than 70 or 65 at the coldest, I think. And like the wind gusts have to be lower than 10 miles an hour. Like it makes it almost pointless because it's Indiana. Our weather isn't stable. So why we have a retractable roof doesn't make any sense. But yeah, the Dolphins played in our actually surprisingly chilly for a surprisingly chilly day in September, and the roof was open. So
I didn't even realize it had a retractable roof until that game on Sunday.
Well, yeah, exactly. Do you need me to list the 4 things that have to happen that never happen at the same time? It goes sideways. It goes sideways too. Like, it's cool when they do open it. That's probably the one time they'll have it open until 2027.
That's hilarious.
Not like the open Lightning Stadium in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Lightning delays actually happen in LA too. Remember that, because it's not actually fully enclosed.
Yeah. Well, the Link is a fully open air stadium, so like it's not surprising that Lightning within 5 miles was going to stop the game. I mean, Dan and I know all too well when Lightning's 5 miles away, everything shuts down, and you're walking at your own risk. So that's a Discovery Cove reference, because in Florida, every day that it rains and lightning, we'd have to stop everything. Dolphin swims, anybody swimming. The
world shuts down.
Yeah.
I want to highlight here real quick. We need to move on to our special teams. Maybe, unless you disagree, it's the most glaring. I think it's the most glaring problem we have right now, because offense, we already know what the problem is. We're injured to hell and back. That's the problem with offense. But Mr. Moody, I admire that Kyle went up there and with a straight face said that he's absolutely going to stay our kicker, with the faces that he was making on the sideline. Definitely not his face. Definitely not agreeing with his words at all.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. Yes, one of them was blocked, but you doinked another kick. And frankly, I really want to make this a poll question. Does anybody notice that the kicks he does make, pretty much all of them are like just in, or just he barely makes the ones that he does make. Like a make is a make, but James, did you notice that when he makes a kick, it usually is a barely made it?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't seem highly accurate, and honestly, like, I don't know how he's going to get his groove back, because I don't think even his girlfriend is in the mood for Moody with the way he's been playing. So, I mean, I don't know how much longer that they're going to keep going with this. We've all talked about like how finding a good kicker seems hard, but is it really? There's tons of guys out there that played at a collegiate level, at a high level, that aren't kicking in the NFL, and you just got to find one of those guys that just but it seems very hard for John to somehow find a guy. And it's just, we
signed McKivitz to an extension, and we signed Kendrick Bourne to an up to $5 million deal. So what, let's say he's 30, let's say it's like 1.8 or 2 million guaranteed. And then all those incentives, like, how much money are we eating if we just go ahead and cut Moody? We had the balls to just not cut Lance, but are we eating that much money? Is this man not a grown adult that would understand if we just
fourth round, right? It was the fourth round you drafted him?
Third round.
Third round.
Does this man not understand that like this is a business and like you weren't performing to the business standards? Like he's a big boy. He can take the $3 million he's already earned and be fine. Like it's like
yeah, I'm sure like you know, if
how much dead money are we actually eating? Like let's just effing cut him.
Like I'm sure like, you know, he would eventually get, you know, a retread you know, somewhere in the NFL, but I mean,
change of scenery worked for Baker.
Yeah, I mean the thing about it is this is his third year as the kicker, and you know what, he just isn't doing it. Like it's bad. It's really, really bad. And you know, we've already seen it cost you games because of, you know, of his lack of accuracy. So I don't see. I honestly don't think John is going to be able to do anything to keep him on the roster if he continues this way, even in like the next 2 or 3 games. And it's just going to be like,
it's like sunken cost fallacy. Like at this rate, it really shouldn't matter that he was a 3rd round pick. We're halfway through his contract. Just what it can't even be $2 million left that we're going to be eating dead cap wise. Just let him go.
It's nothing. It's it would be just shy of 500,000 over the next 2 years.
Let him go. Like, why are we hanging on to this kid that just can't make it? Yeah, he was injured last year. He had a twisted ankle last year, so you can be nice there. And then, you were a rookie the first year.
But I mean, seriously, like if he is injured, then you know, put him on the IL, put him on the IR, or relegate him to the practice squad. You know, something.
That's what happened last year. We had him on IR for like a month and a half last year. He came back and was fine. If I'm going to be kind, he was fine. But like, I don't know. Maybe it's too much of a hot take to do it, and we have to wait till next week. And if he still sucks next week against the Saints, they'll finally do it. But
yeah, but and the thing about it is, like, I don't get it. Like, are you not like putting like, you know, putting as much time in scouting special teams, you know, and scouting kickers as you are doing anybody else, and like you can't really slack there because. Obviously, in the NFL, if you don't have a good kicker, you know, it becomes noticeable, really noticeable, because, you know, everybody's like, oh, you know, how much do you need a kicker until you need them? And then when you need them, they got to come through. And if they consistently do not come through time and time again, well, I mean, how many college football teams are out there that had a decent kicker on their team as a senior or a junior? You know, you cannot tell me that the 32 kickers in the league right now are absolutely the best 32 kickers in the world. Like you just can't. Like, yeah, I mean,
it kills me too because my third love behind the Colts and the Niners, the Bucks, they have Chase McLaughlin, and we had Chase McLaughlin a couple of years ago, and we let him go. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was a Gould injury, and we just had him temporarily for Gould, I think. Unless, correct me, Eric, if I'm wrong. But no, Chase McLaughlin, this is his second or third year kicking with Tampa, and he's awesome. It makes me that much more mad that like we had a great kicker, and we had great kickers that, yes, were older in Gould and Dawson, but just this Moody experiment's not worth it anymore. We've clearly seen his peak, and it's not good.
Yeah, well, and to Jimmy's point, I mean, like, you know, look at the Bills last night. I mean, they got Matt Prater off the free agent heap, you know, and flew him into Buffalo on a red-eye flight.
72 hours ahead of time of kickoff, and that's all the prep he had.
Yeah, and he's out there kicking game-winning field goals for them. So, I mean,
that's
how hard is it to find a kicker?
How exactly? How, like, I mean, there's like 100 FBS teams. It's like you cannot tell me like it should be this hard to find a decent kicker. Like it really like I don't understand like how this could be so difficult if you put enough resources to it, like you do everything else in scouting or whatever. Hey, you should be able to find a kicker very easily. Like I honestly feel like there's a plethora of them out there, but because teams are overlooking them or not just putting very much time into scouting kickers, that there's a lot of good guys out there sitting on a couch bagging groceries or whoever, or kicking in the CFL or stuff like that. Like I just think like you can like it. Teams should have no problem finding a good kicker.
It's aggravating. It's beyond aggravating. The special teams coordinator we have this year, he got rid of our long snapper and our holder and our punter. Well, holder and punter, same thing. And we got like 57-year-old Townsend as our punter now. Or this guy was the punter for the Jets and Saints forever.
Yeah.
Is it Townsend? Did I say his name right?
Yeah.
So we got this dinosaur, and we replaced a pretty good punter in Michkowski with Townsend, but we're still hanging on to Moody. Why? Like
I don't know, but I bet your bottom dollar that Moody's got about one more miss in him, and he won't be around for much longer. So
yeah,
no, cool. You're a 3rd round pick from Michigan, and you had an amazing year in Michigan. You're 2 years and change in your career, and sure, you had an ankle injury last year, but your rookie year and yes, 1 game into this year, you're not making a good case that you're any good.
Yeah, I mean, I get it why they drafted him in the 3rd round. I mean, he basically hadn't missed an extra point since high school.
He hadn't missed like damn near any kicks. Like,
yeah, like he was pretty, he was pretty money since like his junior year of high school. So like, I get it why they would, spend a 3rd round, pick on him, but like now it's like, dude, this is his 3rd year and he still doesn't have it together. And you know what? Maybe you got to bring. I'm sure there's plenty of guys you can bring in to have a healthy competition and see who wins out.
He's got to, John. You just got to rip the Band-Aid off, dude. I don't know what kind of loyalty you have to this kid, but like, he's cost us games in multiple situations. Like, yes, we won this game, but like, just do it now when he didn't cost us a game yet himself. Like, just ridiculous.
Okay.
Anyway, did you have anything else to add to that before we get to the wrap up?
No.
All right. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is our recap of what happened against Seattle. A messy win, but a win nonetheless. And now it's time to give a shout out to our sponsors.
You sound so angry about a win. We're the worst fans ever. We're just like,
to be fair, the 2023 Eagles, like following them, like they were winning and winning and winning, barely and ugly. And, as much as like, we love our team in Philadelphia, it was the same way. It was just like, they can't keep doing this, this winning ugly and stuff like that. And eventually
it was not sustainable.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. And it was something like they would win, but you would just look at the team with like your eyes and you're just like, yeah, they're not really good. They're just really good at just kind of eking things out. But somebody's going to come here, a good team's going to come here, and they're just going to, crush them. And I ended up being the 49ers that year. But yeah, I know the feeling. I know the feeling of watching a team who won a game and you're like, this team is crap. So like,
dude, last year's Chiefs, like 2019 or 20s Steelers, that Steelers team that won like 12 games in a row and then just completely fell apart. But anyway, hopefully our season. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's only week 1.
Yeah.
But anyway, on to our sponsor, Royal Retros. What is Royal Retros? It's your go-to place to get yourself an authentic throwback jersey, whether you are a football fan or a fan of one of the other major sports, basketball, baseball, what have you. You can get it at royalretros.com. And with the Bay Area fans out there listening to this show, go check out the Candlestick collection. It's curated with you in mind. And when you find something that you like, use the promo code Shady Sports and get 10% off of your entire order, not just the Candlestick collection or select items. It's 10% off of your entire order when you use the promo code Shady Sports at checkout. Again, royalretros.com, promo code Shady Sports to get 10% off of your entire order. It helps us out. It helps Sam and Shady Sports Network and all the Shady Sports Network family out. Go check out royalretros.com. Go get yourself an authentic throwback jersey today. James, tell the people about our t-shirts.
Hey guys, we've been over a year at this, raising funds for Mountain Comprehensive Care Centers in Kentucky. Basically, there's a lack of accountability for NFL owners in the league. They seem to be do very bad things, and it's like nobody hears about it. If you remember back to Daniel Snyder in the ESPN report, he had a blackmail PowerPoint with 31 slides on it. So yeah, everybody's team has got an owner with something going on, and the NFL knows about it. Even when the news comes out, it somehow gets buried, and it doesn't make any treadway. For instance, recently in the past year, we've seen that the New Orleans Saints were helping the Catholic Diocese of New Orleans hide pedophiles. That is true, and the emails have finally been released, so you can go find that on the internet. Anyway, the reason why we say this is because if a player somehow does something illegal, against the law, or whatever, I'm sure we all hear about it the next day. It's one of the biggest talking points for at least a week. And so that lack of accountability that is there for owners and players are just seem to be held to a higher standard, even though Roger Goodell has been quoted as saying that owner standards are to be held at a higher standard than players. But actually, you can see what we're saying on there. Owner standards are less than player standards. Here's our message on a shirt. $22.99 gets you that in a t-shirt. We have different colors, different sizes. We also have, hoodies and other things that you can get that in. Wintertime coming up. Maybe we've got one of those. Next up, we have our podcast logo art. You'll find this anywhere on our YouTube channel for our profile, Spotify, anywhere you listen to us or watch us. This is our profile picture. $22.99 gets you that in a t-shirt, and we have different styles, different sizes of that. Here we have our alternate logo. $22.99 gets you that in a t-shirt, different colors, different sizes. And finally, last but not least, our mascot, a peanut, eating nuts while cheering on the San Francisco 49ers. $29.99 gets you that in a t-shirt. Donate to Mountain Comprehensive Care Centers today. All the proceeds go to charity. We just want you to have a cool shirt when donating.
Yep. And just again to remind you, information on Mountain Comprehensive Care Center as well as a link to the store are both in the show notes below the YouTube page or whatever podcast form you're listening to. It's in the show notes. What we got in the news, I was just flabbergasted at the injury report with Purdy being on it. I didn't see any other news other than the Bears are playing right now without Jalen Johnson. That was a very surprise inactive. He's apparently got some injuries. Did you guys catch anything else noteworthy in the news?
The Giants are sticking with Russell Wilson as QB1 versus the Cowboys. So Cowboys are the bet for next week. And the Jaguars have shipped Tank Bigsby over to your Eagles, Jimmy B, for some picks.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay, that's what's up.
Some interesting depth behind Saquon, even though he's never going to get off the field.
Yeah. I mean, well, we lost. Was it? I think Shipley might have gotten injured. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I know Van Summeren got injured, and he's had and it's a season-ending injury, so they might be bringing him to replace him at fullback or something like that. Because basically they went into the season with offensive packages with Van Summeren in mind, being the fullback, and he got injured on the opening kickoff, and so they could be bringing him in to be a fullback, and so that they can have more to their offense than what they showed on Thursday night. So,
Gotcha.
Another interesting little tidbit. When we were talking about Moody and everything like that, the Falcons are going to be bringing in competition for I don't know how to say his name, Younghoe Koo.
Younghoe Koo, really?
Younghoe Koo, yeah.
Well, he missed the kick. He missed the kick, right?
He missed what would have been the game winner.
Yeah.
Yep. So they're going to be bringing in competition for him this week to see how that goes. So, there's a little message for you, John. That's how you do it. Bring in some competition. Light a fire under his ass.
Yeah, Younghoe Koo. That's impressive.
He's a good kicker.
Yeah, he made the Pro Bowl a couple years ago. He's really good.
Yeah,
or was.
I'll be happy. Falcons can cut him, and maybe we can pick him up.
Bro, I'll take any. Not Anders Coulson. I don't want him near our roster again. Anders sucks. But outside, as long as it's not Anders Coulson, I'll take anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, like a couple. What was it? Was it 2023? Where it was either, I think it was 2023 or 2022, when the Eagles went into the game against the Cardinals in Arizona, and Jake Elliott got put on the injury report. Eagles find Cameron Dicker, the kicker, and they bring him on. He kicks the game-winning field goal. He goes, and then now he's on the Chargers. And that dude was not on a roster at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And now it's what, year 2? I think it's year 3 of him being the Chargers.
I think it's year 3 of him being the Chargers kicker.
Yeah.
And honestly, like when you go back in his career, you're like, how did this guy not end up on a team like right out of college? Because he literally had big kicks in college, And it was just like, how does this, like, that's the thing. Like, how does someone like that slip through the cracks, of every tryout or whatever to be a kicker on somebody's team? It's
like Chase McLaughlin. He was with us for a hot minute, then he was with the Colts for a hot minute, and now he's on his own second or third contract third year with Tampa. And we had him first, damn it. Like, and Chase is a great kicker.
I mean, even the Jaguars, like, they found a dude that can kick a 70-yard field goal.
Yeah.
So
Cam Little's on my fantasy team.
Yeah,
you basically just need a touchback, and then you're ready in field goal range.
Yeah, for real.
You get it spotted at the 35. You need what, 5 yards?
Something ridiculous.
Field goal.
Yeah.
He was actually. He did pretty good for me. He didn't kick a 70-yarder, but he got me, I think, 14 or 15 points, even though Derrick Henry single-handedly steamrolled my team last night.
Oh, he single-handedly steamrolled a couple of Buffalo Bills, too.
Yeah.
God, for real. Even if I played, I'll wrap it up after this, but I had Jared Goff starting and Aaron Rodgers on the bench. I didn't know Aaron Rodgers was going to go off for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns yesterday. Sorry for not thinking that highly of. I didn't. He proved me wrong.
Did, Dan. Nobody did.
Well, that just goes to prove you that there's a quarterback's black hole in New York. Like, it's just one of those places where, like, doesn't matter how good you've been or whatever, the minute you set foot as a quarterback for New York right now, you are just meant to play like crap.
Tell Justin Fields.
Like, you just forget how to play quarterback. Like, your brain just melts out to your ears, and like you just
Tell
Who
that
do I
to
throw the ball to? How long do I got to get rid of it? Oh no!
Russell Wilson's carrying on the Daniel Jones legacy, but tell that to Justin Fields. Justin Fields had probably his best game as a pro and still lost.
Yeah.
Like that was a phenomenal. Let's see if they can keep it up. It looks like Aaron Glenn at least made a hell of a first impression as a Jets head coach.
I mean, yeah, I guess I did see, where Fields did have a good day, and we'll see if he can keep that going. I mean, at least he has a proper number now. Like, like he has a quarterback's number, So
Yeah. I mean, let's pump the brakes a little bit on Justin Fields. Justin Fields had 218 yards and 1 touchdown. That's it.
Didn't he rush for 2?
He did rush for 2 touchdowns, but that's all he does is run the ball. He had 48 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns rushing the ball. But I mean, I don't want my quarterback
that's
rushing the ball. I want my quarterback throwing the ball.
That's like what, 260 yards totals and 3 touchdowns.
That's very comparable to Jaden Daniels.
It's not impressive for the NFL, but I'm sure somebody on a fantasy team is really excited right now.
Yeah, the guy I was going against.
I mean, I don't know, like 208. I'm not that impressed.
I mean,
by
come on, it is one game. It is one game. It is New York.
He nearly beat the Steelers. He nearly did. He had to make Aaron Rodgers do a comeback. So at 41,
that's true. See, I wanted to be the only podcast in the nation that didn't slurp Aaron Rodgers, and we failed. We're now slurping Aaron Rodgers.
He humbled us. He can take this win. He certainly humbled me, and I'm probably going to have to make him my starter now. So he can take this little victory. He's not washed up, at least right now.
Who else is your starter?
Right this week it was Jared Goff, but he's getting benched for Rodgers.
Ooh, yeah.
He put up 10 points, and the Lions scored 13.
Yeah,
it was terrible, absolutely terrible.
That is bad.
Jared Goff, I think, in his career only has 10 wins when he's not being coached by Sean McVay or Ben Johnson as OC.
Actually, I think it's less. I think it's like 3 wins.
Oh, it's only 3.
Yeah, it's not like I don't think it's 10. I don't think it's 10 wins. It's like 3, 18, and 1 or something like that.
It's a losing record. I saw that this morning.
It's really bad.
Without Ben Johnson or Sean McVay, Jared Goff is just ass.
Yeah.
Well, Detroit plays Chicago, so wait to see how the Bears do tonight against the Vikings and see how that shakes out. And then Pittsburgh plays Seattle, which obviously you know how that just shook out. So I would say Aaron Rodgers is probably a good start next week.
Yeah. You didn't even need to say that, but now it's just solidified that just keep playing ball, and I'll keep my mouth shut until you start sucking again, I guess. I don't know.
Till his arm falls off.
Yeah. Well, with that, guys, we continue our road game, our road. Oh my God, I'm spacing on what to call it. Our road trip, because we're going from Seattle to New Orleans. It's a 1:00 game on Fox. Don't know who the broadcasters are yet. But yeah, we'll be facing the Saints next Sunday at 1, and we will be back on Thursday for our parlay episode for week 2. James?
Outro music, River Road, Justin Muth.
Catch you guys on Thursday. Let's beat the Saints.
River Road, you You got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long. River Road, where have all the women gone? Have they kissed her hand and waved you bye-bye? Have they thought about crossing your double yellow lines? River Road, they love the way you wind.